You sit down to rest. You close your eyes. You wake up 5 hours later, staring at the ceiling. Your brain feels wide awake, but your body feels like lead. And this is the part nobody tells you. Your sleep is not broken because you have a bad brain. It is broken because we are treating our bodies like simple machines. We have been told the exact same story for decades. Sleep is a consolidated 8-hour block regulated entirely by a tiny biological clock in your brain. But modern neuroscience and evolutionary biology have just uncovered something mind-blowing. The real architecture of human sleep is far more complex, far more bizarre, and deeply ancient. Today, we will go inside the hidden mechanics of your body's true melatonin factory. Meet. Let's begin. 1. Stop looking at your head for sleep answers. When most people hear the word melatonin, they think of the pineal gland deep inside your brain. But here's a statistic that sounds completely fake. Your stomach and intestines actually contain at least 400 times more melatonin than your brain. So, big difference. And unlike the brain's melatonin, which is strictly turned on by darkness, the gut's factory does not care about the sun. It is regulated almost entirely by food intake. Enteric biochemists call this the L-tryptophan pathway, occurring in gut cells called enterochromaffin cells. Think of gut melatonin as your body's night guard. Its job is to heal your stomach lining, protect your digestive barrier, and act as a natural probiotic to modulate your microbiome. When you eat a heavy, high-calorie meal right before bed, your gut and brain enter a biological conflict. When brain melatonin rises, your metabolism shifts into rest mode, making it highly inefficient at processing food. This triggers gut dysbiosis, which destroys your gut barrier and drives systemic neuroinflammation. To fix this, consume light, protein-first foods rich in tryptophan at least 30 minutes to an hour before lights out. 2. Your smart ring is secretly lying to you. In the era of biohacking, millions of people wear smart devices to track their sleep metrics down to the minute. But clinical researchers have discovered a dangerous psychological loop called orthosomnia. It describes an unhealthy preoccupation with achieving perfect sleep driven by wearable data. You check your app and see a bad sleep score. This disappointment immediately triggers somatic anxiety, activating your sympathetic nervous system. That evening, your brain is still looping on the anxiety of needing a perfect score. Because of this stress, your sleep latency increases, and you struggle to fall asleep. The loop tightens, but the damage is not just psychological, it is physiological. A recent double-blind study exposed sleepers to an active 2.45 gigahertz pulse-modulated radiofrequency device, the exact frequency used by smart devices and baby monitors placed near the bed. The researchers found that overnight exposure significantly degraded subjective sleep quality. Even worse, EEG data showed a sharp increase in high-frequency gamma, beta, and theta waves during deep non-REM sleep. That's the insane part. Even if you are asleep, your brain is experiencing subclinical microarousals. Your central nervous system is constantly being jolted, preventing you from reaching restorative sleep phases. If you track your sleep, look at weekly trends, not daily scores. 3. There are actual crystals inside your skull. Deep in your brain sits the pineal gland. It is only 5 to 9 millimeters in length and weighs just 0.1 grams in adults. But if you look at it under a scanning electron microscope, you won't just see soft tissue. You will see millions of microscopic calcified structures called corpora arenacea, or brain sand. And biophysicists discovered something that sounds like science fiction. These crystals are non-centrosymmetric, which means they exhibit true piezoelectricity. In simple words, when you apply physical pressure to these crystals, they squeeze together and generate real, measurable electricity. This is why scientists are currently using a breakthrough technology called transcranial focused ultrasound stimulation, or TFUs. By pointing highly precise sound waves directly through the skull, they can mechanically squeeze these pineal crystals from the outside. This sound pressure generates tiny electrical currents inside the gland, stimulating cellular signaling without any surgery. But there is a catch. Because this gland is a sensitive electrical antenna, it is highly vulnerable to modern electromagnetic fields. In laboratory settings, exposing pineal cells to a modest 0.5 Gauss, 60 Hz magnetic field caused an average 46% reduction in norepinephrine-induced melatonin production. Your active electronics are constantly whispering to the crystals in your head, and your sleep signals are paying the price. 4. You were never meant to sleep for 8 hours straight. If you regularly wake up at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. and struggle to fall back asleep, you have probably been told you have an illness. But history and psychiatry suggest you might not be sick at all. Before the invention of artificial lighting, humans slept in 2 distinct shifts. It was called segmented or biphasic sleep. People slept for 4 hours after dusk, woke up around midnight for a quiet hour of reading, praying, or socializing, and then returned to bed for their second sleep. In 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Ware decided to test if this was biological or cultural. He placed a group of healthy adults in complete darkness for 14 hours a day for an entire month. By the 4th week, their consolidated 8-hour sleep pattern completely fractured. They naturally shifted back into segmented sleep. But the most fascinating discovery was the hormonal profile during that midnight waking window. Ware found that the pituitary gland was releasing massive amounts of prolactin. This is the exact same chemical that allows nesting birds to sit peacefully on their eggs for weeks. In humans, this high prolactin state produces a unique endocrinology, creating a waking trance of profound somatic calm and meditative clarity. If you wake up in the middle of the night, stop panicking. Your body is simply returning to its ancient meditative rhythm. 5. Your pineal gland is an atrophied eye. If you look at primitive cold-blooded animals like the tuatara, monitor lizards, or certain frogs, they have a literal third eye on top of their heads. It is called the parietal eye, and it has a working cornea, a lens, and a retina. It acts as a highly sensitive light sensor, helping these animals track seasons and regulate their body temperature. Millions of years ago, our pre-mammalian ancestors had this exact same skull roof eye. But around 246 million years ago, during the Middle Triassic period, something changed. Our ancestors transitioned from cold-blooded ectotherms to warm-blooded endotherms. As they acquired the ability to regulate their own internal body temperature, the ecological need for an external solar thermostat vanished. Over evolutionary time, the parietal eye sank deep into the skull, and the parietal foramen completely closed over. A 2026 sensory biology study turned our understanding of eyes upside down. They discovered that all vertebrates evolved from a sedentary, worm-like marine creature that lived 600 million years ago. This creature had a single, light-sensitive median eye on top of its head, which eventually became the pineal gland in our brains. Your third eye is not a spiritual metaphor. It is an anatomical reality. Conclusion. Your sleep is not broken. Your relationship with the modern environment is. We have built a world of constant artificial light, active radiofrequency devices, and absolute data obsession. We force our brains to process more information in a single day than our ancestors did in months. But real rest is not about achieving a perfect score on an app. It is about understanding your biology, aligning your gut microbiome, protecting your brain's sensitive electrical antenna from interference, and respecting the ancient rhythms designed to keep us sane. Stop trying to force sleep. Let your body remember how.